Hey, what's up everybody? What's up? How you guys doing today? So I decided to do a video live. I've never done this before, to be honest. This is my first time doing a video live, an actual vlog. It's not a Q&A, it's not a live stream, regular live stream, no, not me playing anything today, just a video. But anyway, so just waiting for more people to show up here. Just to see if someone's watching. Anyway, welcome for those who are about to watch this after the stream is over, or after it's over. So thank you for choosing to watch this video. So guys, I want to talk today about consoles and genres I don't really care for. Things I'm doing these not for my usual criticism reasons. Blah blah blah. I mean to say that I'm not doing this to criticize these consoles or these genres. I'm just here to say why I don't like them and why I don't care for them, so you don't expect a lot of content, or maybe not any content at all, of these consoles or genres. Looks like the chat isn't working, which is weird. This sucks. If I can't read you guys, then it's pointless. It's actually my first time, not my first time streaming something here, but yeah. Looks like you guys can see me all right. Yeah. I can't read the chat, so I might have to watch my own stream on another screen. Pathetic. You believe that? Anyway, sorry about that. So, on another screen. Oops, there we go. No, it isn't showing up. What's going on here? This is so weird. This is... Hey, there we go. Someone's there. I saw someone donating a while ago. Somebody donated something. I'm pretty sure it was Rem. This is so freaking weird. Hey, Nick. I see you, Nick. What's up, man? Anyway, so... first time. Yeah, I've done this several times on my main channel and nothing like this happened before. But it's my second channel, so it had to happen, right? Jesus, YouTube, goddammit. So, what's up everybody? Thanks for joining. So, like I said before, the reason I'm doing this video is because I don't want you guys to expect a lot of content, or if not, any content whatsoever of these consoles that I'm about to talk about, or genres. It's just, I'm not a fan. I've given them so many chances and I don't know, I just don't like them. But, maybe someday I'll change my mind, right? We'll see. So, a live video for this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining. So yeah, consoles and genres I don't really care for. To be honest, I like most consoles, even the Virtual Boy. No, I don't like the Virtual Boy, but I thought it was like a very obvious pick, so I'm not gonna talk about the Virtual Boy. I know people who care and like the Virtual Boy. I don't. I've played it before with the machine in my head, and it's just for like 5 minutes or less, it's all right, and then it all goes to hell. It's such a chore. It's very unpleasant for me to play. A lot of people like the Virtual Boy. They play the games, they collect the games, and they play it every now and then. It's a historical game console, but yeah. It's just not for me, and apparently I'm in the majority because a lot of people dislike that console. The thing is that there's a few consoles that are kind of popular, like the one in the thumbnail of this video right now, the Nintendo 64. So I'm just gonna do that right away. When I was like 10 years old, I lived in this neighborhood, and I had the NES. I only had the NES. I didn't have a Super Nintendo yet. Yes, the Super Nintendo was already out. The Sega Genesis, the Sega Saturn was already out. The PlayStation. So when I was 10 years old, this was back in '95. One of my neighbors had a Nintendo 64. So I went to his house to play. He told all of us, the group of friends, hey, I got a Nintendo 64. Let's check it out together. Blah, blah, blah. So we went to his house, and he had Mario 64. He had Star Fox 64, and I don't remember the other games. One of those weird, obscure games no one cares about. I don't remember. And we didn't play that. Oh, he also had Perfect Dark, right? So when I got there to this guy's house, he was already playing Star Fox 64. And I've never played Star Fox before. I didn't even know it was released on the Super Nintendo. To me, that was the first time seeing, Star Fox. And to be honest, I wasn't really liking what I saw because, this was coming from a guy who only knew NES games and the occasional Super Nintendo game whenever I went to somebody else's house, or the occasional Sega Genesis game. Oops, sorry, my ring. So the thing is that I went to this guy's house, watched them play Star Fox 64 and Mario 64, and when they handed me the controller and I played it, I hated that controller. I mean, you've seen the Nintendo 64 controller, right? It's just weird, man. I was used to the very small, I don't have a Nintendo controller, but like a very small Nintendo controller. So they handed me this freaking monster of a controller, and I was like, how am I supposed to grab it? And I didn't even know, and the joystick was terrible. And it's just, I was like, is it great? The game's great, right? Yeah, but on the inside I was dying. Like, I was dying to say, no, I'm not liking this. And, every time I went to play the Nintendo 64, because I never owned one until I became a reseller, decades later. And I got a bunch of 64s for sale, and I had to test them all, and make sure they worked. So I never owned a Nintendo 64. Why? Because every time I went to somebody else's house to play whatever, Super Smash Bros., The Legend of Zelda, several games, right? Several of the popular games. And I just never liked the damn controller. Never really liked the graphics. I thought the PlayStation had better graphics and controls. Some of the games on the PlayStation are outdated today, but the Nintendo 64 doesn't stay behind. People are starting to say, right, that the Nintendo 64 is outdated, that there's a lot of controversy out there because of the Nintendo 64. A lot of people are starting to say that most of the games are outdated, primitive 3D graphics, controls, and, this is something I knew from the start. I was like a prophet. I knew this console is going to be a failure in the future. Anyway, so I got into Pilot Wings, I got Paperboy 64, which was terrible. Other games, it's just the Castlevania games. Oh man, when I played the Castlevania, I was like, okay, let's play the Castlevania 64, and it's just, oh my god, man. So eventually, I realized this console was just not for me. And today, a lot of people have tried to convince me, hey, give it a chance, give it a second chance, try it again. And I've done it, but on emulators. That's how I played Ogre Battle 64, which is an amazing game. And other great games out there, like Banjo-Kazooie, for example. But even emulating with a good controller, a better controller, better graphics and whatever, my problem is with the in-game controls of most games and the graphical style. This 3D primitive, it just felt so clunky most of the time. I don't want to, if you're a big fan of Mario, Mario 64, no offense, great game, masterpiece to some, but I never liked the game. I just couldn't, never get into Mario 64 or even Ocarina of Time. I played Ocarina of Time like 3 times in my life, with a lot of years, in between, and every time, it's just, damn, I can't. So, nothing really against the Nintendo 64. I still think it's a good console, unlike the Virtual Boy or the Philips CDI. Fuck. I've played the CDI and oh, it's bad. The 3DO, man. Ah, the 3DO. Damn. Radioactive Cosmic Rays. Thank you very much, man. He says, what would you say is the second best genre of games behind RPGs? To me, personally, my favorite is fighting games. Fighting games is my second favorite genre. Alright, so yeah, that's it for the Nintendo 64. Great console, it's just, I don't like it. Other consoles, I just don't think it's a good idea to mention them, like the Virtual Boy or the Philips CDI, the 3DO. Those are bad consoles. But my next console that I don't really care for, that I want to talk about, it's not just one console, it's like an entire company of consoles. And that's Atari. Atari, I was born in 85. Okay, I was born in the year where Nintendo saved the video game industry. Remember the video game crash of 1983? Yeah, most of you probably weren't alive. Oscar! Oh man, you're the one guy I didn't really want to have on this video. You're offended? Dude! Man, thanks for joining. I don't like the 64, man. I'm sorry. I hate the controller and you know that. Don't worry, I'm not gonna mention the Dreamcast. I want to get into Dreamcast. I'm starting to get a lot of appreciation for the Dreamcast lately. Once we get to hang out again in your house, I want to ask you to let me play some Dreamcast games again because I want to give it a second chance. But the Nintendo 64 is a console that I gave up already. Maybe when I'm older, maybe one day, right, I'll give it a 11th chance and change my mind. But for the moment, yeah, 64. So Atari, I was born in 85 and Nintendo was out. Of course, I didn't start playing video games until 1990, maybe, when I got my first Nintendo. Me, my brother, my sister, we got our first Nintendo Entertainment System, and we loved it, but back then, a lot of people were also playing the NES, and a year later, the Super Nintendo came out, and it was the shit. And I didn't have a Super Nintendo until much later, until almost the PlayStation 2 era, and I'm not kidding. I did love video games when I was a child. It's not like I wasn't into them. But the thing is that I just don't, well, I don't want to get into this story because it's such a long-ass story. I think maybe one day I'll do a video about this. How my mom was actually kind of against video games. Well, that's a story for another time. Yeah. So Atari, I remember when I had the NES, I went to my my cousin's house, and he had an Atari with this Donald Duck game. It was like a fishing game. It was bad. It was bad, man. And that's the Atari. So imagine for someone like me, and this was back then, right? Nowadays, there's a lot more appreciation for retro games or previous generation consoles, right? But back then, it wasn't like that. Most of you who grew up during that time, I'm pretty sure you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you played a current generation console and went back to a previous generation console, you will probably hate it. You will say, like a kid, like an immature, ignorant kid, this is trash. So that's what happened to me with Atari. I played the Atari 2600 and I was like, what the fuck, man? This is horrible. Come on, I was a 6-year-old kid. What do you expect? So later when I grew up, I got into more Atari games. When I had the store in the mall, that was like 20 years later. I got this Atari, I think it was the Atari, it wasn't the 2600. I did have a bunch of Ataris 2600s, but dude, what's the other one? The 7800? I think that's the one. And I remember I was excited, oh my god, it's been a while since I last played an Atari console. I plugged it in to test it on the TV, and I played some games. I don't remember the games. No, I don't remember the names of the games. And that was pretty interesting because I remember most of the games I had. It's just somebody showed up one day and sold me the console, with a bunch of games. And all of these games were like, what? None of the popular games. Very obscure games. And I started playing it and I was like, I'm not liking this, man. It's just bad. I think I had more appreciation for the ColecoVision or the Intellivision because some of the games were pretty damn simple and dumb. I don't know, and I kind of like them, I don't really care for the ColecoVision or, anything below 85, but I think I got more appreciation for those systems. But in the end, I don't know. And then one day I went to my to Oscar's house. I think he's gone. Hey, Callie. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Atari nerd. Look, check it out. All of the Atari consoles. So we play the Jaguar, right, in your house. And, well, I think it's considered as a bad console, right? And I remember I played it and we played some games and it was fine. It was all right. I think the controller was kind of bad too, but it's better than the freaking joystick. And I don't know, man. I kind of like the Jaguar, but yeah, most of the games are kind of bad, nonetheless. So yeah, I haven't tried every single Atari console, like the CE, the XT, the ST, the Lynx, but maybe someday. I don't think it's gonna change my mind. I just have zero interest in Atari for some reason. I don't think it's a prejudice. It's more like during my entire life, I played several games from Atari, and I just couldn't get into a single one of them. To me, they are severely outdated, and most of them are very cryptic. Of course, we're talking about most of the adventure or puzzle games. If you're gonna play Space Invaders, I mean, there's nothing cryptic about that, isn't it? Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not here to bash. I'm not here to bash any of these systems. But I just want you to know that maybe you shouldn't expect content for those consoles in this second channel. You'll probably eventually at some point you're gonna be like, why hasn't Eric released a top 5 underrated Nintendo 64 games or a top 10 Atari hidden gems? Well, now you know. It's because I don't really like them. And the last console I want to talk about, yeah, there's only 3. Well, two consoles in a company, a whole company. The last console I want to talk about, and I'm pretty sure Oscar is gonna be mad at me again at this, but it's a system that I have several great reasons for not rejecting it or disliking it. It's just I can't get into it because it's too freaking expensive. It's always been expensive, and forever it will be expensive. And that is the Neo Geo. I would rather play anything on the arcade or arcade machines. I prefer that a lot. I like playing on the arcade machines, but the Neo Geo system, the console itself, that's a console that, unlike the Nintendo 64 and the Atari games that I don't like, I think the Neo Geo has a lot of potential and it has a lot of really great games, and I really want to get into it. That's the big difference between the Neo Geo systems, the AS or whatever, and the previous ones that I mentioned, because this is a console that I think it's great and the controller is great and the games are great, but it's too damn expensive. It's like the Sega Saturn, or at least the Sega Saturn, I got some appreciation thanks to emulation, thanks to a lot of things. I know I can emulate Neo Geo, but there's a lot of systems that I really want to cover. So Neo Geo is the only one that maybe at some point you could start seeing content on it. Maybe one day, you'll see a top 10 Neo Geo hidden gems or a top 5 underrated Neo Geo games, because emulation, thankfully. But something tells me that the Neo Geo is better played, like some consoles, not all of them. I think it's better played on the actual hardware, so you can live the experience on, feeling like you're rich because, when you were a kid you couldn't afford it. And I've been aware of the Neo Geo since I was a kid too. I remember I went to my friend's house. He had a Sega Genesis, and he was kind of old, and he was not crying, but he was making such a fuss. We were like 10 years old, I think, and he really wanted a Neo Geo. And he made a mess with his parents. He made this scandal with his parents right in front of me. I'll never forget that. He wanted the fucking Neo Geo. And I was like, wow, is it such a big deal? And then when I found out how expensive it was, I got so disappointed. I couldn't believe it, Why will, it's just ridiculous. One day I got this Xbox, the original Xbox. And that's another console, by the way, that I don't really care a lot for, but Xbox is okay. This Xbox machine had this emulator on it, and it had a lot of Neo Geo games. Yeah, the I don't know how to pronounce that in English. Mame, M-A-M-E. Fuck, I don't even know how to pronounce that. But yeah, and I finally played a lot of Neo Geo games, and I'm pretty sure it was the emulator. It's like it couldn't emulate them properly for some reason, so in the end I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's it. Those are the systems I don't really care for. To be honest, right now I didn't really plan a lot this video. I just rehearsed it today. I was gonna do a normal video, a normal top 10 today, but I just didn't have enough time. I got sick yesterday. Today I started feeling better, and I just recorded a video on Tales of Arise coming up next Friday in 2 days in my main channel. A Tales of Arise video finally. But yeah, I decided to do this. I don't think the Neo Geo is a good pick in my opinion. I think it's a system that right now I don't really care for, but I want to care for. So eventually, I'm pretty sure I might get into the Neo Geo systems, mainly thanks to the arcade machines my friend has. I know one more system you don't care about, which I already mentioned a bunch, like the Philips CDI or the 3DO, Panasonic 3DO, Virtual Boy. The 32X, is that a system? I don't care about the 32X, to be honest. I care a lot about the Sega CD, you know. I care about the Master System. If you think you're going to mention the Master System, you're wrong. I care about the Master System, and I actually want to make a video about the Master System. And I care about the Xbox, like I said. Xbox, I don't really care that much. Xbox One? Actually, I want an Xbox One. I want an Xbox One because I want to play my 360 games on it. I do care. I don't care about the PS5. How's that, huh? How's that? I don't care about the PS5. I should have put a freaking thumbnail on a PS5 picture on the thumbnail to trigger people. I don't care about it. It's the same as the Neo Geo. The same thing, man. It's too expensive. Oh, I care a lot about TurboGrafx nowadays. Yeah, I want an Xbox One actually. I'm thinking about getting an Xbox One this very same year because I want to play and stream my Xbox 360 games if possible. So yeah, Xbox Series X, I don't think I care right now because it's too expensive as well. I might wait. And of course I don't care about the Soulja Boy consoles at all. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of consoles I don't really care about. But I think those are the ones that stand out the most. The Nintendo 64, Atari consoles, or pretty much the bad consoles like the 3DO or, you know, Turbo... the Panasonic 3DO and the Philips CDI. Alright, so yeah. TurboGrafx, man. Yeah, TurboGrafx, such an underrated system. Just like the Dreamcast. Dreamcast just looks so good, man. It just looks so good, you know. I want to emulate Dreamcast. I don't think my computer can handle it, but as soon as I get a new computer, Dreamcast is going to be the first console I'll emulate so I can make videos about the Dreamcast. I think it deserves more love and attention. I mean, it's kind of Sega Saturn too, of course, but it's so hard to get a proper Sega Saturn emulator working. I always fail every time I try to emulate a Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn, it just doesn't work. It asks me for the BIOS or a lot of things that I just can't understand, and I just can't make any Sega Saturn emulator work. But anyway, those are the consoles I don't really care for. Now moving on to the genres. You know, I think I'm more open-minded to genres than to certain consoles. But there's a few genres that I don't really care for at all. I mean, I've been opening up for the past few years to racing games. I've recommended a couple of them in this channel already, a couple of racing games. Might start getting into them little by little, you know. But there's a couple of genres I don't care for at all. I'm pretty sure you already know which ones, so I'm just gonna start. First-person shooters, man. I just can't stand them. I can't. Sorry, all of you Doom fans, Call of Duty fans, or any Perfect Dark fans. And do you remember when I was telling my story about the 64, how I went to my friend's house, and he had, you know, my neighbor's house, and he had Mario 64, Star Fox 64, and another obscure game that I don't even remember. And I mentioned a fourth game. That fourth game was Perfect Dark, and that was the first time in my life when I played a first-person game, and my God, nobody liked it. I remember that nobody liked it. He was like, you know what? Let's keep playing Star Fox 64 and Mario 64. Yeah, this game. It later became a game, a cult classic, right? A lot of people liked the game actually and grew up with it. And then GoldenEye came out and it was the sensation, you know. I remember I went to another friend's house and he had the PlayStation with Marvel vs. Capcom, Metal Gear Solid. He had what's this game? Spyro the Dragon. And we had a blast playing those games, but he also had a Nintendo 64 and he had GoldenEye. And every time they were playing GoldenEye, I was just watching. They gave me the controller and I played a little bit and I just couldn't get into it. Later in my life, I found out that I have a little bit of motion sickness. So whenever I'm playing on first person, not dungeon crawlers, I don't have a problem with dungeon crawlers because you just move precise, you want one single view. And in first person shooters, you're technically moving, the experience is more immersive. I don't know how to describe that. It's just it makes me dizzy. So I can only play a first person shooter for like 5 minutes before I puke, really. And the same thing goes for VR. VR is depending on the game. I think some VR games I can handle them, no problem. But and Oscar is a witness here when we were playing Biohazard on the VR. I got sick. I almost puked. I remember he was there, and I just couldn't get into it. So it doesn't matter how I play first-person shooters or first-person games. I just can't get into them. I know I'm missing out on some great titles. Biohazard is one of them, but or Amnesia. But I just can't. They make me dizzy. I can't. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. Nothing against them. I just they make me dizzy. They are enjoyable for me. So yeah, first-person shooters. Another genre that I don't really care for is sports games. If you watch that video I did on my main channel about my favorite games on every genre, you probably noticed that I actually talked about one, and there's only one sports game that I like, and that is International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the Super Nintendo. I love that game, man. But when I was little, I didn't like sports games at all. I played baseball on the NES. I kind of like the music in that game. I played golf, and I played a soccer game. I don't remember the name. Also on the NES. And I remember I just didn't like them. I was never a sports kid. I wasn't a football team. Soccer team. And when I was like 10 years old, 9 years old, and I was only there for like a year, and I dropped out of it. I've never been a sports guy. So when I played International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the Super Nintendo, I was surprised. I was amazed. I was like, wow, this is great. So I want to get into more sports games. I want to give them all a chance now. Now that, I was so hyped. I want to play more. So I played this other game called Super Soccer, and I played FIFA. I played FIFA on the PlayStation, one of the FIFA 94, 5, whatever, I don't remember, on the PlayStation, and I just couldn't, I was like, it's just not International Superstar Soccer. So I had gotten obsessed with that game, and that's it. And over the course of my life, I've played several sports games, and I just don't like a single one of them, except that one. Thank you, Radioactive. A VR game in the universe of Dot Hack, that will be awesome. Yeah, I think we need to see... Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to VR games. Is there an RPG already out for the VR? But, exclusive to the VR, not the classic game you watch and you play. No, an actual RPG developed specifically for the VR. Is there something like that out already? Chess games, I kind of like them actually. I prefer playing chess on real life, but yeah, we'll get to that later. Miami Sunrise, thanks, man. Buying sports games for full price every year is 100% suck. No, man, I don't even buy them for $1. Skyrim? Skyrim was developed for VR? Really? Seriously? But it's in first person, right? I'm opening up to racing games. I like karting games. It just didn't make sense to me. When I was little, I was playing Mario Kart. I was playing Crash Team Racing. I was playing other racing games, so I was playing Super Off-Road. Nobody likes that game. I love it. Off-Road on the NES. I love it. And so I said to myself, if I like karting games, why not racing games? So I'm trying to give racing games a chance, because I'm pretty sure I'm missing out on a lot of games, a lot of great games with great music. But yeah. So my buddy Oscar mentioned chess. That's actually the third genre I don't like, and that is board games. The pool games or chess games. I can handle them because I like chess, right? But I prefer playing chess on real life or any other board game. Monopoly on I think it was there was this PlayStation 3 Monopoly game that I played, and it was like it was good, but I just wanted at that moment I wanted to play the actual game on real life. I don't want to play board games on my controller. I don't know, man. All those pool games, like I said, those board games, I just can't get into them. That's another genre that I don't really care for one bit. So, yeah. What else is there? I think that's it. Maybe some simulation games, depending on the simulation type. For example, The Sims games, I don't really care for them. But I do like some visual novel Sims, right? You've seen me talking about them on my main channel, or also on this channel, games like that, I like them. Or, I don't know, games like Minecraft, I can't stand that shit, man. Minecraft, what's this other very popular simulation game? Man. Dude. You guys should let me know in the chat if you know it. It's a really popular simulation game. Yeah. Roblox? No, never heard of it. No, it's not like Minecraft. It's like... It's a big influence. It's a strategy game. It's a big influence for Age of Empires. There. Or Civilization and Age of Empires. They're not exactly simulation games. They're strategy games, but it's all about building your... And I'm pretty sure you're surprised, right? You'll probably say, hey, but you like Suikoden, you like, army building games, but they're different. Those are RPGs. So these simulation games like Civilization, I don't really like them. I can't get into them. That's another one, Command and Conquer. Or the game you mentioned, Miami, in the Super Obscure Gems video. I played it. What was it called? I already forgot. Oh, man. RTS. I like some RTS games. This is gonna shock you guys. I've never talked about this, but I actually like Starcraft on the computer. I never played the Nintendo 64 Starcraft, but I played Gemfire. Thank you, Miami. Yeah, that was all right. That was pretty interesting. It is exactly as you described the game. It was pretty simple to understand and get into. Way simpler than Uncharted Waters on the NES, which is brutally hard to get into. I like real-time strategy games too. I love, Grow Lancer are pretty much real-time strategy games. Green Grimoire, for example. Tower defense types of games, for example. But I don't know why whenever I play Age of Empires or Civilization, I get bored so quickly, man. I have no idea why. I see a lot of you mentioning MMORPGs. I kind of like them. I actually like them a lot. That's why I stay away from them. That's the reason. Yeah, Starcraft. No, I don't play Starcraft. That was a long time ago. Like 15 years ago when I was still in high school. I had this friend, and we will go to his house and play Starcraft simultaneously on the keyboard. Yeah, so that's my experience with Starcraft. It's not really... I'm not really a fan. Yeah, MMORPGs, I like them. I like them a lot. I used to like them a lot back in the day, but I stopped playing them because, I just the last I told the story before on my main channel why I don't play MMORPGs with my Gaia Online experience, that I got so addicted to it that I wasn't doing anything. I was barely, making money. Oh man, it just got so bad, and I realized, what, I should stop doing this like forever. That's why I don't play MMORPGs, but I have nothing against them. But sure, I guess that genre could fit into this video, because I don't think you will ever see a video on MMORPGs on this channel or in any of my channels. So you're right, I didn't think about that. I don't really care for MMORPGs, but not because I don't like them, because I like them so much. So usually, trying to stay away from that. So that's bad for me. Those are the consoles and the genres I don't care for. I could have some honorable mentions, I'm very picky when it comes to puzzle games. I love Tetris. I love environmental puzzle games. But there are some puzzle games I don't like. I never liked Dr. Mario for some reason. Dr. Mario. But I love Magical Drop. Magical Drop, man. I love that freaking game. So yeah, puzzle games are hit or miss. There's a lot of genres out there that are hit or miss. Like, I like some games, but I hate others. Maybe that's a video for another time. But yeah. One last genre that I think I should mention is, somebody was mentioning some games like Ace Combat, or all of those. When you get on a plane, everything that goes on a plane, and it's just, it makes me a little bit dizzy too, because it's not first person, but it kind of feels to me like it is, and I don't really enjoy them. I don't really enjoy flying around in a ship and shooting stuff. I would rather play a shoot 'em up, for Christ's sake. I love shoot 'em ups. I would rather play a horizontal shoot 'em up, a proper shoot 'em up, or a vertical shoot 'em up, or whatever. But 3D on rail shooters like precisely the Ace Combat, I don't think it's on rails, but correct me if I'm wrong. So those games like that, it's just, they're called aerial simulators, I think. I don't like them. That's another genre that I don't really like, but that's a very, very niche genre. Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah, farm simulators. You're just saying that because I love this Farm Frenzy game. That's the only one I like. That's the only one. Farm Frenzy, the first one for PC. I've told the story. It's because when I opened my kiosk at the mall, I didn't have a single console, not even portable, to play there, or a TV to test the games there, and all I had was a brand new notebook. That was a small laptop, and it came with Plants vs Zombies and Farm Frenzy. So I absolutely, I had nothing to play except those games. I played Farm Frenzy, and it was a blast. I love that fucking game, but I tried Farm Frenzy 2 and didn't like it. So it actually is, Farm Frenzy is not exactly, well, it is a simulation. It is a simulator, you're right, but it's more, it's so interactive. It's just you're doing a lot of things. It's more like a real time strategy game, or like a tower defense, because you gotta defend the ducks, or whatever animals you have there in your farm. So yeah, pony simulators. Oh boy, this fucking game, man, I still have it. Because it was a gift from Einashi, who never joins these fucking streams. Yeah. So what are some genres you guys don't like at all? Some genres that you just can't stand, that you never play, that are pretty much unbearable, unenjoyable, no matter what, no matter the game, no matter the console. You can't get into them. Why? Harvest Moon? Nah, man. What's the other, the one that's an RPG series? Because I don't consider Harvest Moon as an RPG. Room Factory. Room Factory, I can't get into them precisely because of the farm simulation. This is why I haven't bought Sakuna of Rise and Ruin. Because the moment I start seeing what the farm simulation is gonna be like, I'm like, no, man, I don't want to do this. You know, I want to play a 2D action RPG, not a farm simulation. I can't stand graphical novels. You mean like visual novels, right? You know what? I like them, but I'm not the biggest fan either. You know, unless they have something like, you know, Sakura Wars. You know, unless they're like visual novel RPGs. Like there's an actual RPG in there. Like you can fight, you can do something. But if the entire game is just reading and making a decision every now and then, like 5 decisions in the entire game, I can't stand that either. I can't play, you know. And I've heard some great reviews, you know, people telling me, you know, hey, you should play this one or you should start with this one, and it's just, I would rather read a book, man. Or I wish that visual novel was printed instead so I could read it, you know, like this, you know. But it's just playing a visual novel that is like 98% reading. I remember I was playing these what was the name of this visual novel called? Our World Descended on the PlayStation 4, and I was laughing a lot. It was a great comedy, but eventually it just burned me out. There was nothing to do except read and read and read and read and, you know, just pressing the X button. That's the whole fucking game. The X buttons. Like, visual novels should have like their own console. When the controller should be just one fucking button. That's all you do, man. So, nah. Yeah, but mobile games are like, you know, they are on a console. You already know I don't care one bit about mobile gaming. Maybe I want to do a video specifically called I don't care for mobile gaming. So maybe all of these indie developers will stop contacting me. They send me emails quite often saying, hey, this brand new game is going to come out for iOS and Android. Your channel will be ideal, you know, for advertisement. And I'm like, you know what, dude, I've insulted mobile gaming lots of times in my channel, and these people just send me, I know it's their job, right, just to gather a bunch of successful YouTube channels and send their games, right? I get it, but come on, I hate it when they send me emails without even knowing my channel at all. They know nothing. But they have the nerve to say things like that. Oh, your channel is ideal. We are fans of your channel. We love your content. If you love my content, you should know I fucking hate mobile gaming. I don't mention it that often, do I? Maybe I should start mentioning that more, you know, saying I hate mobile gaming in every video. Hey guys, what's up? I hate mobile gaming. Yeah, I mean, I'm honored. I should be honored. I'm being an asshole, man. I'm being an asshole right now. You know, I should be honored and grateful that I'm relevant enough for these people to think of my channel and consider my channel. So for this, but the what pisses me off, and I don't want to talk about this right now because oh boy. Thank you, Oscar. Oh, don't worry, man. I can't stand random encounters either. Fuck, you know, not anymore. At least I used to, because that's how most RPGs were back in the day. But nowadays, I don't like them. I don't like them either. I hate them. Oh, thank goodness some of my favorite games, retro favorite RPGs, you know, don't have random encounters. But you just imagine, for me, it's hard to go back to Final Fantasy IX nowadays because of the encounter rate. God damn it. It's so high. Final Fantasy IX should have been an honorable mention in my video of the worst encounter rate. I actually considered the game. It was on the list. I had a list of 22 titles there. Final Fantasy IX was there. And I was like, nah, I'm going to remove this game because, nah. Oh, man. If mobile gaming is even considered gaming, a lot of people are bitching about it, even in Japan. I used to think that mobile gaming was huge in Japan. It is. But a lot of gamers over there hate it with a passion too. You guys saw what happened with the Shining Force announcement? Did you notice that? You know, they made a trailer for their new Shining Force game. It's gonna be on mobile, and the video in the Japanese video had a shit ton of dislikes. You know, no, everybody was pissed off, man. So even in Japan, people are starting to get tired of that. Like, come on, we want our Death RPG series. We want them to come back on a console, not on a freaking phone. Well, thank goodness we changed the subject, because I was just about to start complaining about NIS America and Bandai Namco for never reaching out to my channel and giving codes. Jesus, do you know how much money those companies make because of my videos? Probably not a lot. Alright, guys. Oh, Sega is announcing another mobile RPG? I'm not surprised. Hey, you know, look at it this way. Maybe that's their way of making money to fund other games. Well, I don't think so, but maybe. It's like, hey, we need money. Oh, well, let's release this. I mean, if you're a company, I get it why you want to do both console. Well, you want to release games on consoles. You want to release games on computers, but you also want to release games on phones, because that's 3 sources of revenue. And you can use that money to make better games or to release better games on consoles or whatever. Maybe we shouldn't be that, maybe we shouldn't be that, I don't want to say against, that antagonistic when it comes to mobile gaming, to companies releasing games on mobile. But it's just, we can't help being pissed off to see some of these dead series come back on mobile, like Ark the Lad, Wild Arms. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. Prove me wrong, companies. Just tell the world you released Wild Arms for phones so you can have enough money to release a proper Wild Arms on a console. But we're talking about something entirely different right now. Yeah. This video has been going on for almost an hour. Right, guys, that's it for tonight. I still gotta work on my Tales of Arise video for next Friday. A couple of days from now on, you'll watch that video, my opinion on Tales of Arise. But right now, the stream is over. Thanks for watching, everybody. Those are the consoles and genres I don't really care for. You guys shared a lot here in the chat. I hope you continue to share more of them in the comment section below. And as usual, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to buy my books if you're interested in my books. Link to them in the description below, and also link to my Patreon and my PayPal in case you want to donate $1 or $2. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciated this, man.